My name is Marcia Jensen, and thank you for having me here today. I'm the local advocate in Mesquite. I work for Safe Nest. I worked for Safe Nest for the last 13 years. And Safe Nest is a domestic violence program here in southern Nevada. We've been here since 1978. And our main goal is to work with domestic violence victims and to try and help them become safer in their lifestyle and in where they are in their life, and provide means for them to get there so that they don't continue in the abuse situation. A lot of things have been touched on as far as what domestic violence is, and it's mainly having power and control over another person, whether it be emotional, physical, sexual, economic, any of those are considered domestic violence. And you'd be surprised on how many people, victims that I talk to, that come in and they say, oh, it's just happened one time, he just hit me one time, no big deal. And then I start talking to them and, well, has this happened in the past? You know, tell me a little bit what led up to this. Well, it's amazing how many of them will report emotional abuse. They've been, they can't go to their family, they've been restricted from friends, they can't go out of the house except for a certain amount of time, and when they go out they can only go here and then they have to come right back. That is, you know, part of domestic violence, and they don't realize it. The emotional abuse, putting them down, there's, you know, they have no self-esteem, they're constantly, you know, it's your fault, you're not doing any good, you don't raise the kids right. And so there's so many aspects of this that people don't realize, and part of my job is trying to get the victim to realize what's happening in the relationship. Yes, there is, it may not be much physical abuse, but there's certainly emotional abuse. There's threats that are going on. I'll kill the dog, you won't get the kids if we get divorced, I will get custody. And so all of this factors into what's happening in a relationship. It's not necessarily physical abuse. And it's amazing how many people don't realize that. I even had talking a while back with an abuser's in the office and getting him referred out to counseling, and the father happened to be there, and he said, hey, when he hit her, there was no blood. Well, breathe deep, Marcia. Breathe very deep. You can see where this attitude is coming from. You know, they saw it in their home, and that's what people used to think domestic abuse was it had to be physical, and the victim had to be beat halfway, you know, to death, and blood and everything else. That's not it. So this is part of my job, is educating people, you know, what exactly is domestic violence, and it's the control of another person.
I don't know of any organization that has volunteer counselors or certified counselors to help individuals who have been going through consistent domestic abuse, whether it's emotional, mental, physical, or whatever. Not only does it affect them, but it affects the children. Now, is there a possibility that a small coalition of certified counselors, and by that I mean going through training through a professional counselor, can be put together so that if somebody is being abused, they can't afford, they don't have insurance, they can't afford to pay for counseling?
Maybe I can touch on that. Let me explain what our services are here in Mesquite. Like I said, I'm the local advocate. And whenever there's a domestic violence comes in through the police department, I get referrals from the police department. I get referrals from different agencies here in town, Salvation Army, Family Services, Mesquite Mental Health. They will call me when they have somebody come in that says they are experiencing domestic violence, or if they think that there's a problem there. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, like I said, the physical violence. If they think there's a problem, they will refer them to me. I get calls all the time from them saying, we're sending someone over, or mental health will call me and say, can you come over? We have somebody in the office here that's experiencing domestic violence. Can you come over? Give them information on what's available for helping them. When I get a referral, and I get a lot of walk-ins also, self-referrals. Maybe they have a friend that has told them, hey, go talk to Marcia. So when I get someone in the office, or when I'm talking with someone that's experiencing domestic violence, what I do is go over what's happening in their lives, what has happened in the past, and help them realize, you know, this is in fact domestic violence that you are experiencing. And there are certain things that we can do to help you so this doesn't continue to happen. I do crisis intervention when I first get with a victim, and we go over safety planning as how they can keep safe, and part of that is if the abuser has been arrested, we can look at getting a TPO. Even if he hasn't been arrested, we can look at getting a TPO. And Judge Toon has been wonderful. The courts have been wonderful as far as looking at the safety of victims and addressing that and saying, yes, the TPO needs to be issued. And that will give the victims some assurance that the abuser can't contact them and continue on with this behavior. So I do help them out with their, if they want to do a TPO. If they don't want to do a TPO, we have our shelter in, and they want to leave and get out of the situation. We have our shelter in Las Vegas that they can go to. We take families. We're in the process of being able to take pets. So we take children, and it doesn't matter you know, what their situation is. If they want to go into shelter, it is available for them to go. If they don't want to go into shelter, and a lot of them don't, they want to go with family, they want to go with friends. A lot of times they have family or friends out of state that they want to leave and go and stay with. And in that case, I will try and find an advocate to wherever they want to go who can help them out. So that they're just not left without any help in that state or that city that they go to. I give them different options. We go over, I don't tell them what to do. They need to take some of the control back into their lives because they have been told over and over what they can and can't do. And so part of the process is allowing them to make good decisions and taking control back of their life. And and what I do is, okay, let's sit down, let's see how you can stay safe, and let's see what options you have available. And there are a lot of places and a lot of agencies here in Southern Nevada that are willing to help victims of domestic violence. If a victim needs help as far as legal services, we have Southern Nevada Legal Services, who has a pro bono project where if the victim qualifies, they will provide an attorney to help them through the court, family court, at no cost, which is fabulous. Because a lot of times there are, you know, divorce issues and custody issues. Custody is a huge issue with the victim because they've been told for so long, I will, you know, the abuser has told them, I will take the kids. There's no way you'll get the kids. And that's one of the reasons they'll stay.
Then you do all this by yourself?
I do that here in Mesquite, and I refer out to different agencies, depending on what agency, what services they may need. If they choose to stay here and say they need help with food or whatever, you know, we have the food banks, and so I put them in touch with that. If the abuser is in jail, and we just have a new program that started called the VINE program, where they can register on the computer or by telephone, and when that abuser is released from jail, they're notified immediately that he is out of jail. So there's a lot of different things that a victim can do to keep themselves safe. If they are afraid of going to court, I'll go to court with them and try and be their support system there. And if they have a TPO hearing where they want someone to go with them, I'll go with them to a TPO hearing.
But what if they want the counseling?
Okay.
They don't want anybody to know and they want to stay here in the city.
Okay, we have a counselor. We have Glenn Horlocker. I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you know him. He's been here for much longer than I've been here, and he is our safeness counselor here in Mesquite. He counsels victims, and he also runs the group counseling for the abusers when they're court-ordered
And
into
it's all free?
counseling. And not that, for the victims it is. And my understanding is that for the abuser there is a fee. And there should be. He needs to take responsibility.
Or she.
Or she.
Or she,
Yes.
right.